Boker Tov, continuing with Halachot Bishul from 139 Melachot. So the book is Melachot of Shabbat, the first chapter, up to Seif Melechet. So yesterday we spoke about, we introduced and we explained the machloket between Bishul achar Afiya betzliya. And at the end of the class, we brought the Shulchan Aruch and read it inside. And the Rama, he adds on to the Shulchan Aruch when it says V'yesh matirim, he says B'kli shani. So the Ashkenazim are strict in that realm. This is what we spoke about yesterday, is for the Sfaradim. Okay? So we're continuing now. Petitim, itriot, umakaronim. Couscous, we said itriot was what? Noodles, noodles, and different types of pastas. Okay? Af davar shene'efah kvar, imeno ra'ui la'achila mechamat afiyato, yesh bo mishum bishul. So even something that was cooked prior, if you can't eat it because it's not yet, because even something that was baked already, if I can't cook it, if it's not ra'ui la'achila because it was baked, it would still be liable of bishul when you cook it. Lefichach, petitim, itriot, umakaronim, she'achar afiyatam meyabeshim otam bechom rav, kedei sheyamdu yamim rabim. After they bake these things, macarons, we said it was the pastas, the noodles or the couscous, whatever it is.
Like noodle soup, sometimes people put in salad or...
Good question, but we saw that even if something that was eaten, that can be eaten raw. If you cook it, it's a problem. Like apples, like onions. So it's not like bishul akum where there's a different leniency there. But it's a great point. Okay. So he says even they bake it, but then they dry it. They dry it with a lot of heat, so it can last for many days. Asur litenam b'Shabbat b'toch kli rishon sheusar mein ha'esh. He says it's forbidden to put it in a kli rishon that was removed from the fire. And he brings this down from the Bet Yosef in his Shuvot Avkat Rochel. Odot chitim sheshaklu otam goyim k'macha ben dorsai. They used to have a dish back then that they would cook wheat kernels, not fully, just to macha ben dorsai. And then they would dry them so much to the point that you couldn't eat them unless you cooked them again. Exactly our case, If they were cooked again by a Jew, there's no problem of bishul akum. So he learns from there to halachot Shabbat. He says, since the first cooking isn't recognizable, it would be mutar to consume. And then I introduced Avi Omer that talks about what if it was cooked fully and then they dried it and it can't be eaten. It also might be might lose its status of being cooked. But very, very good. So he tries to argue from there that it would be a problem to put these in a kli rishon when it's taken off the plata. So the reason they're trying to learn this is from a tshuva the Bet Yosef, Rav Yosef Karo had in Avkat Rochel about Bishul Akum. And he was equating it, the author of the book is equating that Bishul Akum, we see that if you dry it and then you recook it, as long as it's recooked by a Jew, it's okay. That means also in our case, if you dry it and recook it, it's a problem of cooking. He's trying to make that equation. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Okay? Next. Shekede marak. This is croutons. Okay?
Wait, just have a croutons we're talking about. The yellow ones or the bread?
I think the yellow ones. The red one isn't fried. The yellow ones are fried.
The yellow ones are like fried. The red ones aren't fried?
The bread ones aren't fried. They're dried. I don't think they're fried. Again, it depends.
The bread ones are on motzi, the yellow ones are...
No, bread ones are not on motzi either. They're made for that purpose. It's mezonot.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Mezonot,
yeah. Okay? They're both mezonot. The question is how they're made. Davar metugan dino ke davar mebushal. So first and foremost, something that was fried is treated as cooked. Okay? Also a machloket, but that's the halacha. Lefika. Therefore, shigdei marak metuganim haruim lachila. The fried croutons, I think it's the yellow ones.
No, it sounds like
yellow ones are fried.
Sounds like yellow,
Okay, that I can eat them, I can snack on them, they're normal, they're edible. Mutar litenam betoch kederat marak rotachat sheusera mina esh. It's mutar to pour in your boiling hot chicken soup in the kli rishon that was taken off the fire.
Because it was edible.
Well, because it was fried. Ain't frying after cooking.
And cooking after fry.
Ain't cooking after fry, yeah. Okay?
Oh, because last. What about the pasta case?
The pasta case, it was dry, it was baked and then dried and no longer yet edible.
So it's both edible and something happened to before. Because
I
pasta
mean-
we compare it to apple.
No, why
That was
pasta's
different.
apple?
No, that was.
What if you?
Nothing to do with apple.
Edible before.
No, they're not been cooked raw or not. Compared to apple, is it eaten raw or not?
Yeah.
But there's nothing to do with
I'm saying
the pasta case is because they dried it.
You can say raw.
It's not raw. What does that mean raw?
Ramen. Oh, like.
Oh, the ramen that you add into it. What about that?
Sounds like croutons.
It depends how it's made. If it's dried and you have to recook it, if it's not edible, it's a problem with
It's
Bishul.
edible, no?
Those are edible, so it's not a problem. It's a fall into that
People
category.
use those as croutons.
Ramen
Yeah.
you eat is like croutons, but
Because you eat them raw,
pasta in like a blue box.
correct.
What do you mean? You have to put water in it to
No,
make
it's
You don't
edible.
have
But it's
to.
edible. It's edible for
Croutons
that.
also.
The soups are edible. Yeah, you could eat them. They use them as croutons. It's
Yeah.
not disgusting. It's
Croutons and dry
just
pasta, really. A lot of them.
Okay, so with the croutons, because they were fried once, there's no worry of cooking. So I can pour it directly into the boiling hot chicken soup that was taken off the fire.
those instant noodle soups. You're allowed to put hot water in.
No,
Why?
in the soup, yes, but there's extra issues of the
Vegetables?
not the vegetables is one thing, and the spices. That's why you have to do cliche if you want to do that.
Just plain you could.
what's wrong with the vegetables?
Eat it plain? No, I think there's already vegetables in there.
It's two separate packets.
You need to cook
The
vegetables.
vegetables are separate.
Cook vegetables and that's
Oh.
sure.
Yeah,
You could eat them raw, you know?
doesn't matter. That's the whole point.
That's what
Even
I
if
was
you can
saying.
eat it raw, there's still bishul
I'm
to
trying to
cooking.
organize it. It's raw, raw and edible, but
You can't
it's
put
ready.
the raw fruits or
Correct.
vegetables
But a lot of these packets don't have the vegetables now. A lot of the soups put the
No,
vegetables on the
this is in a
side.
clear
The
rishon.
Geffen ones, it's
Good point. Very good
said
point.
spices too.
Spices are a problem
I
with
don't know,
bishul.
saying a lot of them nowadays have them on the side. They have them on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
it's their packets.
Okay, and but it's a problem. So it's also a big machloket about the ramen noodle soup. Also, we looked into it once. I'll check into my notes after. But some argue that it's not even cooked fully yet. That when you pour the water, that does the final cooking. Then it would be a problem also. So I don't want to give a suck on it. No, the klishani will be mutar. Unless it's a problem like vatish. We'll get there. What if you do it in klishani?
This is like a
noodle soup.
We'll get there. The big machloket. Maybe, maybe not.
the last action. Like
The final blow.
Opening the collar of a shirt.
Or taking off the thread on your suit.
There's that.
It might machloket. I'm not giving a psak. I'm just getting our minds to think about all the melachot. Okay.
Don't eat ramen noodles.
Okay. So this is based on Rav Shlomo Auerbach in Shema Shema Kilcheta and Yabia Omer Chelek Chet Sman Lamed Hey were posek that you can pour these croutons into a clear rishon that was taken off the fire. The Shevet Levi was machmir even in a klishani. However, the what did I write here? Wow. So the Chazon Ish, I put a note here. The Chazon Ish, the machloket, the premise between the Shevet Halevi, Rav Wozner and Rav Ovadia and Shema Shema Kilchata is to what degree of frying is considered cooking. Rav Ovadia writes, any nominal frying is like you cooked it and there's no problem with bishul. Okay? The Shevet Halevi says it needs to be fried deeply, like a deep fried. But Chazon Ish writes that even nominal frying is also considered like it was cooked, and there's no problem with bishul achar bishul. So yeah, so even the Ashkenazim would be matir. Even the Ashkenazim would permit in this scenario that you have a chicken soup that's taken off the fire, boiling hot, clear rishon, pour your croutons in it, no problem, because they're fried. Even if they weren't deep fried, because they're fried, it's okay.
This whole scenario is like take the whole pot and put croutons in it.
Yeah, why is that crazy?
I think
You might, I don't
No,
know.
I'm saying like that's the.
Not your croutons, your noodles, no?
Saying the Chazon Ish permits nominal frying for Ashkenaz.
Not nominal frying. No. If it was nominally fried,
I mean, yeah.
Shetigun kemo bishul afilu b'shemen me'ah. That's what I wrote from the Chazon Ish, based on Orchot Shabbat. That frying in nominal, meaning nominally frying, is like cooking, even for the Ashkenazim. The Chazon Ish is pasek, and the Ashkenazim would rely on that as well. But for us, it doesn't matter. Rav Ovadia writes very clearly that frying is like cooking. Okay? Next, kafeh tachun. What about ground coffee? We spoke about ground and your elite coffee.
That's ground.
Yeah. Okay? Mutar la'arot rotchim bekli rishon al gabe shechikat hakafeh kevan she'hakafeh hu kalui ve'u la'achila. This is halacha ul ma'aseh for Sfaradim. Ashkenazim are strict. But what? You're allowed to take, I have the urn. I can put my coffee in a cup under the urn, pour directly from the urn into my coffee. Why? Because it was roasted and it's edible and you can eat it. The same way there's no problem of cooking after something was baked. There's no problem of cooking after something was roasted as well.
Feel so already doing it. Coffee ground.
Doesn't matter, it's still edible.
No, my dad asked me.
Yeah. What?
My dad asked me coffee for it. It always felt weird.
Tea is a problem. Don't mix them up. Coffee is mutar. I mean, Turkish coffee might be a separate discussion because it wasn't cooked ever. But regular instant coffee was fried, was already roasted.
Is there a way around Turkish coffee?
We'll get there. Okay? It's a malchoket. It might be cooked nowadays. I'm just saying. I remember that Turkish coffee might be different. It might be cooked. It might be roasted. ויש מי שכתב שאין ליתן שחיקת קפה אלא בכלי שלישי. And he brings. There's some who say that put the coffee in a kli shlishi. We'll read the opinions right now. Yeah. So obviously, the reason why we initially started, Rav Ovadia writes in Yabiyah Melechet Siman Lamed He, because it was roasted already. Most Rishonim agree that there's no problem of cooking after baking, roasting, whatever the scenario. Afiya, tzliya, kiliya. Mutar larot rotchim al gabe sechikat. I think it's shechikat hakafeh on grounded coffee, on the coffee packets. Okay, that's Rav Ovadia and Yabiyah Omer. The Or Letzion, he writes that ein avkat hakafeh reuya la'achila be'ena. Exactly what you said. Coffee powder, instant coffee is not edible. No one eats it as is. And therefore, it would be a problem to do it from a kli rishon, meaning pour from a kli rishon. So they say on the Or Letzion that it doesn't make sense because all the achronim say that it's edible. In the previous photo, we brought many rishonim, achronim, Maran ben Chaviv, Ginat Veradim, different achronim that say coffee is edible. Okay?
Who said that it's not edible?
Or Letzion, Rav Yosef Bishul. He said no.
It's very mouthful, right?
No, it's edible, just no one eats it. That's the
Like powder, nobody uses.
Even the ground.
Isn't a lot of powder edible?
So they try to argue that it can't be that the Or Letzion was only concerned about the fact that it's not edible. Because it doesn't make sense. There's so many poskim that say coffee is edible. Roasted coffee, like powder. So they argue, they try to give Melamed Zechut for Rav Ovadia Bishul that it's a combination of things. He's choshesh to the opinions who say, like the Ramah, that there's a problem of cooking after something was baked. On top of that, maybe coffee is not even fully cooked. So for multiple reasons, he says do it in a kli shlishi. Rav Ovadia says from a kli rishon directly into the cup is mutar, and there's no problem whatsoever.
Sorry, are we saying kli shlishi?
What?
Are we saying kli shlishi?
Yeah. Yeah. Put it in a kli shlishi, pour from that into it. Yeah. Okay? And lastly for today, and then we'll wrap up, chimum chala. Heating up chala. Very, very, very applicable question. That's exactly the question. Mutar le'aniach chala al gabe plata chashmalit kedei shenitchamem. It is permitted to put chala on the plata so that it should warm up. Ve'en lachush b'zeh mishum afiya. There's no concern of baking. Kevan she'en afiya achar afiya. because there's no concern of baking after something was already baked. Okay?
What was the Machloket Rishonim again about baking after cooking and roasting after cooking?
So Rav Ovadia and the Mordechai say Ein Bishul achar Afiya. No, the Ashkenazi. But there are we saw it yesterday. I think it was the Samak or dun, 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 dun. Rav Ovadia Mordechai permit, and the Ra'am Sefer. It's really the Sefer Yeraim, not the Ra'am. The Sefer Yeraim was the opinion was Machmir. So he explains here that I don't. They might not have the chiluk between baking and cooking. Again, the beginning we introduced this melacha. If you look at the Mishnah in the 7th parak of Shabbat, it only says Ofeh. It doesn't say Bishul. The Gemara asks, why is it Ofeh not Bishul? Because that was the derech hapat. That was the order of making bread, and it was a mnemonic for us to remember. But Bishul and Afiya, in the terms of the Mishnah, are equal. So the Rishonim, some argue that they're different. So for that reason, the Ashkenazim might be strict. But the Shulchan Aruch, the Beit Yosef, is clear that he holds like the Rav Ovadia and the Mordechai, that ain't Bishul achar Afiya. So it would be mutar in this scenario as well. Good?
Do these all go the other way too?
What about
Afiya, Bishul, if that's been possible?
Ramah holds there is Afiya.
Bake something after cooking.
Is that possible?
The Ramah says in a Kli Rishon is a
That
problem.
could be permitted on
You should
Shabbat.
do it in a Kli Sheni.
To reverse your steak, and technically you can put it in the
Yeah,
oven.
if you wanna put bread in your soup, put it in a Kli
After
Sheni,
cooking.
not in a Kli Rishon.
Some people put a steak on the fire and then put it in the oven after.
What is oven?
Is that the equivalent of on the
You can't bake steak.
No,
Oh, some people do like barbecue.
cooking or not cooking. Kli Rishon cook, Kli Sheni doesn't cook.
They do in the oven.
Okay, so I want to just bring. I want to explain what they say down here.
What if you make like Oreos? What if you fry Oreos and put them in the oven? Is that
So now I want to just wrap up with this. We'll wrap up with this and we'll wrap it up. Can you make toast bread on Shabbat? Okay? עיין משוט שואל ומשיב שתיתן להחמיר שלא להניח לחם אפוי על גבי התנור שיהיה כולו מוקשה. The Shoel Mashiv was machmir and said, don't put baked bread on the oven for it to become fully hardened. Okay? Why? וכן להפך, לתת לחם מוקשה לתוך המרק. Don't put hard bread into soup to get soft. דומיה דמשמר הרמב"ם, פרק ט' משבת הלכה שאסור להרפות דבר קשה או להקשות דבר רך, והנך בזה בצריך עיון. So in my introduction, I quoted the Rambam, who said Bishul isn't only food. It's, for example, heating up a metal to make it soft. That's Isur Bishul on Shabbat. Okay, so the Shoel Mashiv says, wait a minute, maybe when I take bread and I make it hard, that's what the Rambam was talking about.
The metal and like
Yeah.
bricks.
So he says, don't do it out of tzarech iyur. Ulam, however, Rav Pelnim, the Ben Ish Chai, argued on the Shoel Mashiv. Chelek bet siman nun bet. וכתב דפשוט שאין לזה דמיון עם מה שכתב הרמב"ם. There's no comparison. The Rambam is talking about metal, he's talking about food. חדה דעת המהות תולד מבשל ואחר הוא הפת שכבר נאפה. First of all, over there was a subcategory of cooking, as opposed to our case of bread. It was already baked. And number two, ועוד, הטעם הוא דרך מלאכה שמרפא גוף קשה שיצליח למלאכה שיוצא בו. That's how you do the מלאכה. You soften something hard to use it how I like. אך כאן הוא אוכל, but here it's food. ודרך אכילה הוא שזה שמרפא הוא במרק שיוכל לאכול בנחת עד כאן. Meaning, bread is made, you use soup to soften your food always. If you have rice, you put your choresh on your rice so it's softer. So it's food. There's no issue of softening food. וכן כתבו בדעת תורה ושבדעת השבת. They agree with the Ben Ish Chai. There's no problems making toast bread on Shabbat. ועוד כתב בשבת השבת שם דאין בזה גם כן משום מכה בפטיש. There's no concern of מכה בפטיש. Why? דלא כמו שכתב רב פעלים שם. Rav Palim suggests that maybe the problem of Makar Batish. וכן הדין, הסכמת הראשונים והאחרונים, דאין באוכלים משום Makar Batish, So the Mishnah Berurah talks about this. That's what I mentioned it earlier. Is there an issue of makeh batish with food? In general. So the Mishnah Berurah in Berurah Halacha explains that the answer is no. There's no concern of makeh batish with food, and therefore you can be lenient in the Berurah Halacha, not the Mishnah Berurah. Yeah. And Berurah Matchil Hadachatan. Yeah. He wrote the Mishnah Berurah, Berurah Halacha, and Sha'ar HaTziyun. Mishnah Berurah is quote unquote easier to read. Again, it's very, very amazing and deep, but it's more simpler as a read. The Berurah Halacha is more like Rishoni, more pilpul, and the Sha'ar HaTziyun is his sources. He sources every halacha for you. Yeah. So he sources where he got the halacha. Magen Avraham, the Beit Yosef, the Gemara, Achronim, Pir Megadim, the Gra. He'll source it in the Sha'ar HaTziyun. And he'll often add an extra halacha or condition in there, but most of the time it's not there. Most of the time it's in the Mishnah Berurah. Good? Chazak
So
u'baruch.
it's also challah included. Toast bread, challah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Why are we even talking about warming up